Around 1266, Count Guido Guerra V brought a relic of the Virgin Mary's breast milk to the town of Montevarchi, a feudal dominion along the fertile valley of the Arno River, owned by Guerra's powerful family, the Guidi Counts. Originally, Montevarchi's breast milk relic was preserved inside the town's collegiate church of San Lorenzo, where it was enshrined by a Della Robbia tabernacle chapel. The relic was enclosed inside the tabernacle, shielded by an iron grate. Above the relic was placed a polychrome sculpture depicting the Madonna lactans, or the Virgin in the act of nursing baby Jesus. The polychrome Madonna sculpture was one of 4 early modern artworks portraying the nursing Madonna, created for Montevarchi's city center. The 4 Madonna lactans images in Montevarchi, which I will later address in greater detail, were located throughout the town at important points, such as the city gates and nearby the town's main piazza. These 2 types of objects, a breast milk relic and images of the nursing Madonna, were the material components of Montevarchi's veneration to the Madonna of the milk, or the concept of the lactating Madonna, an object of devotion that I will refer to as a milk cult. Despite its rich artistic and devotional history, Montevarchi and its milk cult have been understudied by scholars of the Renaissance. Montevarchi's 4 Madonna lactans images have never been closely examined, nor considered as a collective group, an understandable omission as all 4 have unknown attributions and have been modified throughout the centuries, factors typical of cult images. Additionally, previous scholarship has overlooked the fact that breast milk was a nutritional substance analyzed closely by Renaissance dietary theorists. Using an interdisciplinary approach, the presentation that follows will fill these gaps to provide a more comprehensive understanding of Montevarchi's milk cult during the early modern period. Local historians have previously noted that Guerra's donation of the milk relic was integrated into Montevarchi's myths of its own origins, which the notary, Carlo Bartoli, first codified in a manuscript written in 1556. However, the civic and social significance of the milk relic and Madonna lactans images within this town have not been fully explored. My research suggests that Montevarchi's milk cult not only comprised ritual devotion to the Madonna of the milk, but it also reflected one of the town's characteristic social customs, the local prevalence of wet nurses, or rural women paid to nurse the children of Florence's elite and middle classes. Although wet nursing was a ubiquitous practice in the early modern period, it was an economic mainstay closely associated with the Guidi territories, of which Montevarchi was a part. This overlap between cult ritual and economic well-being impacted the city's visual culture and resulted in the diffusion of a distinctive image of the nursing Madonna throughout the town's urban landscape, further embedding the Madonna of the milk into its civic identity. I will first demonstrate how Montevarchi's milk cult was woven into the townspeople's collective identity through institutionalized ritual practices performed at the feast day celebrations. I will then address the practice of wet nursing to suggest that this custom, by requiring healthy breast milk, was likely incorporated into veneration of Montevarchi's milk relic, and I will further reveal that wet nursing was a locally relevant custom. Finally, I will engage in a detailed visual analysis of the cult images to demonstrate that the artistic representation of Montevarchi's Madonna of the milk fostered a particular and recognizable image of the nursing Virgin, which was accessible to local residents on a daily basis. Many cities in early modern Europe engaged in milk cult devotion. For an early modern devotee, the Virgin's breast milk symbolized her healing and intercessory powers. Miracle stories of the Madonna and saints' lives overflow with tales of curing miracles that occurred through nursing or contact with breast milk, as this example of the Virgin nursing a dying monk back to health demonstrates. Out of this belief in the healing potential of Mary's breast milk, developed a pan-European devotion to the Madonna of the Milk, and in fact, no fewer than 69 sanctuaries in the Christian West claimed to own a vial containing the Virgin's milk. In 1543, the French religious reformer Jean Calvin wrote in his treatise on relics that there is not perhaps a town, a convent, or nunnery where the Virgin's milk is not shown. Indeed, had the Virgin been a wet nurse her whole life, or a cow, she could not have produced more than is shown as hers in various parts. 2 communes in Tuscany boasted possession of this precious sacred asset, that of Pistoia and that of Montevarchi. Although milk relic veneration was popular, Montevarchi's devotion to the Madonna of the Milk was distinct in that it both achieved religious ends and also secured one of the town's main sources of wealth. In order to appreciate the milk cult's complex significance to Montevarchi's society, we must first understand the period perceptions of breast milk and nursing. I have already noted that Renaissance individuals believed in breast milk's capacity to heal moral and physical diseases. Dietary treatises further indicate that Renaissance individuals believed breast milk to be a particularly potent foodstuff. The 15th century nutritional advisor, Bartolomeo Platina, claimed that woman's milk should be used only in medicine. He viewed breast milk as a special kind of substance reserved for healing purposes. Other treatises echo this idea, prescribing breast milk as a medicine that could remedy diseases such as fever, lung infections, earaches, and rabies. One treatise even went so far as to recommend that the elderly drink breast milk directly from the source to better treat illness, suggesting that the act of nursing at a woman's breast had close associations with healing and good health. As we shall see, contemporary understanding of the curative properties of breast milk likely held a heightened importance in Montevarchi, where townspeople venerated the milk relic to effect miraculous healings related to the female life cycle, and where wet nursing practices relied on healthy breast milk. From the time of its donation onwards, Montevarchi's milk relic served as an anchor for the town's ritual practices. In 1653, a canon of the Collegiate Church of San Lorenzo, Jacopo Sigoni, composed a relazione outlining Montevarchi's institutionalized devotion. Corporate devotion to the Madonna of the Milk culminated on the Relic's feast day, held on the second Sunday after Easter, and likely resembled that depicted in a Della Robbia relief panel showing the Relic's donation and procession into Montevarchi's city center. Festivities began at sunrise 3 days before the feast day, when the Fraternità di Santa Maria del Latte, the confraternity charged with organizing the celebrations, removed the relic from behind its grated covering. Sigoni recounts a tent of 20 braccia long pitched in the piazza of San Lorenzo, under which stood an adorned altar, brass candlesticks, and 14 votive silver lamps. The clergy celebrated Mass over 50 times during these 4 days, replete with fife playing and lit torches. On Sunday, the milk relic was processed through Montevarchi's city center, covered by an ornate cloth canopy embellished with silver decorations. Over 60 armed soldiers saluted the relic as it passed, amidst singing of ballads and outbursts of applause. Sigoni's account illuminates the diversity of individuals who participated in these events. In addition to nuns dressed in white habits, the procession included the members of 6 local confraternities and, quote, innumerable people, end quote. The ritual, as Sigoni described it, seems to have been an elaborate and theatrical celebration that unfolded in the town's streets and main piazza, integrating Montevarchi's entire community. This pious performance, enacted annually by the local townspeople, helped form a religious identity grounded in the Madonna of the milk. Without a surviving miracle book for Montevarchi's milk cult, we are left with little evidence regarding the specific types of miracles the milk cult objects were thought to have performed. However, we know that in 1630, Florentine aristocrat Jacopo Salviati donated this new reliquary to Montevarchi after his wife's successful birthing of a male heir through the Virgin's intercession by means of her milk relic. Additionally, a diary written in 1915 by a woman from the village of Pitello near Pistoia, the second Tuscan town that claimed to own a vial of the Virgin's breast milk, recounts how her grandmother urged her to pray to the relic as this would help her lactate. This evidence suggests that as late as the 20th century, rural devotees venerated the Virgin's breast milk with the specific intent of promoting fertility and ensuring lactation. Milk relic veneration and the miracles effected as a consequence of this devotion thus had powerful implications for wet nursing as an economic activity. Renaissance treatises on family management and popular carnival songs reveal that the common practice of employing wet nurses was fraught with anxieties. This was due in large part to class tensions, which this Fontainebleau painting visualizes clearly, and because Renaissance society suffered from high infant mortality rates, to the extent that close to half of all children died in infancy. In this context, a child's survival depended on access to healthy breast milk above all else. The belief that breast milk could transmit not only diseases, but also humoral characteristics and personality traits further intensified a father's search for a suitable nurse. Family treatises thus urged fathers to inspect the breast milk's color, consistency, and smell to determine the nurse's capacity for producing safe food before hire. Popular carnival songs recorded in the Canti Carnascialeschi also suggest that breast milk was closely examined before a nurse's employment as a means of quality control. With lots of good fine milk, our breasts are full. To avoid suspicion, let the doctor see it. These same carnival songs indicate that Florentine fathers sent their children primarily to wet nurses living in towns in the Casentino Valley and the Valdarno, the areas southeast of Florence circled on the map. It seems that in Tuscany, these valley regions were thought to produce particularly suitable wet nurses, as one ballad demonstrates that many children nursed in this area. In every matter, we know what to do so that the baby grows up quickly, and he'll never leave us until his nursing is finished, so you can be quite confident in sending him to the Casentino. This verse, among others, confirms that many children were sent to the Casentino Valley. Significantly, the Guidi counts owned land in both of these fertile valley areas, suggesting a connection between the family's territories, the culture of wet nursing that evolved therein, and the Guidi's eventual donation of the milk relic to Montevarchi. Furthermore, Montevarchi's neighboring town of San Giovanni Valdarno, also owned by the Guidi counts, experienced its own lactation miracle in 1480, when an elderly woman was miraculously able to feed her grandson after appealing to the Virgin Mary. The episode, known as the Miracle of Monatancia, was commemorated with this fresco in the town's main church. Additionally, Piero della Francesca's well-known fresco of the pregnant Madonna, which women appealed to in the hopes of becoming pregnant, may point to a broader regional culture that revolved around female fertility in the valley areas southeast of Florence, as this fresco adorned a church in the Val Tiberina, a Tuscan valley parallel to the Valdarno and Casentino. To return to breast milk and wet nursing, Montevarchi's nurses played an important role in ensuring Florence's population stability through their position as the earliest caretakers and food providers for Florentine children. They achieve these duties largely through the quality and the quantity of their breast milk, which the milk relic was thought to influence. Devotion to the Madonna of the Milk was therefore particularly relevant in Montevarchi, where social and economic security relied upon a steady flow of healthy breast milk. This symbiotic relationship between religious devotion and social custom is unique to Montevarchi's milk cult, as the Second Tuscan milk cult was not a place commonly associated with wet nursing, and other towns that were associated with wet nursing did not possess a miraculous milk relic. Montevarchi's milk cult thus extended beyond devotion and was in fact embedded in the town's social and economic identities. It was literally embedded in the town's urban landscape as well, through the placement of 4 Madonna Lactanes artworks in the city's infrastructure, which I will now introduce in turn. In addition to the polychrome Madonna, situated in the Milk Relics Chapel, Montevarchi's images of the nursing Madonna included the Madonna of the Bridge, a tabernacle fresco placed over the Giglio Bridge on the old road leading north to Florence, whose original context likely resembled the drawing at right, depicting a rural bridge tabernacle, the Madonna of the Gate, adorning Montevarchi's southern gate leading south towards Arezzo, and the Madonna of the Hostel, located in the Pilgrims' Hostel, about 2 minutes walking distance from San Lorenzo Square. Sigoni's Relazione does not specify how the town may have incorporated Montevarchi's 4 images of the nursing Madonna into the relic's devotion. However, a close visual analysis suggests that these artworks directly reference the milk relic and promote a singular image of the nursing Virgin, thereby further ingraining the Madonna of the Milk into the town's identity. The most straightforward link between Montevarchi's relic and images is that both invoke and represent the Madonna of the Milk through their focus on the Virgin's breast milk. The Madonna Lactane's images portray the maternal action that created the relic, providing a pictorial counterpart to the relic worship. The Madonna of the Gate provides an additional example of an artistic reference to the milk relic, through the 17th century inclusion of the painted reliquary perched atop the right angel's head. Moreover, the artworks employ a distinctive visual vocabulary to render a recognizable image of the town's Madonna of the Milk. Both the Madonna of the Bridge and the Madonna of the Hostel depict the Virgin seated on a throne with her left breast exposed and the Christ child on her lap in the act of nursing. Smaller details further suggest intentional replication, most notably in the Christ child and Virgin's hair. Christ's thick and golden blonde hair fully covers his head, forming discrete ringlets that leave no view of his scalp. This detail is particularly distinctive, as other Madonna Lactanes most often represent Christ with at least parts of his scalp showing, and never with such full and defined curls, as the right-hand details taken from contemporaneous Madonna Lactane's paintings attest. The hairstyles of the 2 virgins are also alike, with a section visible beneath her headscarf and braided in a twisted fashion. Also similar are the depictions of the Virgin's clothing, specifically the way in which her cloak hangs over her right shoulder, with the flap face up to reveal the cloak's inner lining. Mary's breast emerges from a slit or a flap on her dress, a sartorial detail typical of clothes worn by contemporary wet nurses, who use this opening to facilitate breastfeeding without fully undressing, as Megan Holmes has suggested. These works, therefore, not only echoed each other, but they also mirrored a contemporary social reality. Lastly, I would like to emphasize that these frescoes were created over 150 years apart. Despite changing tastes and political circumstances, they share several formal characteristics, suggesting a desire on the part of the town and the cult's custodians to intentionally reproduce a particular image of the Virgin Mary, readily recognizable as the Madonna of the Milk of Montevarchi. Renaissance relic and image cults often included visual reproductions of miraculous objects. However, these images most often remained indoors, ornamenting churches, monastic communities, or privileged government buildings. A distinctive feature of Montevarchi's cult, therefore, is the way in which milk cult imagery was to be found in the streets, extending beyond the realm of the sacred into the town's secular and civic spaces. In Montevarchi, local residents and visitors could access the Madonna of the Milk every day, not only on the special occasions such as feast days and important pastoral visits when the milk relic was exposed. As they went about their daily business, townspeople could encounter the Madonna Lactane's images, which were located in heavily trafficked spaces, over a city gate at the southern exit, over a bridge at the city's northern exit, and in a public hostel in the city's center. The Madonna of the Milk was thus literally embedded into Montevarchi's urban landscape, shaping and protecting the town's built environment. Just as milk cult devotion connected to the town's everyday life through the prevalence of wet nurses, so too did images of the nursing Madonna emerge from the town's sanctuaries and populate its secular spaces. Montevarchi's milk cult served as an anchor and a magnet for the community, which connected the town's milk relic, visual culture, ritual activity, economic mainstay, and civic infrastructure. This considerable extent to which the Madonna of the Milk shaped and defined the town's identity is unusual. As further research might help to clarify why a breast milk relic was donated to Montevarchi, it is perhaps most useful to view the town's milk cult as part of a broader artistic and devotional culture concerned with female fertility that was present in the Tuscan Valley regions southeast of Florence. Drawing from visual evidence, primary documents, and manuscript sources, I have shown how Montevarchi's milk cult helped guarantee the town's social and economic security, and how a recognizable image of the Madonna of the Milk was embedded into the town's urban landscape. The breast milk relic was not just an object of devotion, but a phenomenon integral to Montevarchi's civic identity and its very structure. Thank you.